I'm thinking about this Social Security thing. Been thinking about it. Apple. Okay. So last year, I'm 65. Late last year. Passed up Social Security when I was 62, 63, 64, 65. Okay. I'm born in 1942, which means way back there, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago. The government decided to screw all of us born in 42, 43 later on. They started oozing back, eaching back the date at which you can get your retirement or Social Security. I mean, let's face it. You're trying to live on Social Security. Okay. But, point is, you've been paying in for it a lot for a long time. And those who are 65 in my generation pretty much know that back in the 60s, this thing was cruising along without any particular great problem. It started in the 30s. Okay. Then in the 60s, the government got big-hearted, or stupid, and started on Medicare, Medicaid, giving everybody under the sun Social Security. And then, lo and behold, pretty soon, instead of having 15 poor young bastards like me in those days out there working our asses off and paying into them, now you had 7, you had 6, you had 5, you had 4. And it's, like heading to, pretty soon, I don't know, another 50, 60, 70 years, heading to 0. Oh, you're going to make money enough. Okay, so, anyway, I'll take a look at this Social Security thing. And if you ran a business, and by the way, I happen to have owned a business for 40 years. 50, 60 employees. I'm a little guy. Sounds big, little guy. But you're paying up to 7.5% of everybody's salary. You're matching them. So if you're working for me, you're grousing around, sitting, feeling bad about yourself because the government's snipping off about 7.5% of your money, putting Social Security. Can't do anything about it. But your employer, unbeknownst to you probably, because most people don't know this, unless they're paying it, employers pay another 7.5%. And in fact, by the time we're all done, I calculated, if you're working for me, and I'm giving you $1, it's costing me another 22 cents in taxes for your medical and your blah, 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 and your Medicare, Medicaid, and that kind of stuff, which you pay in. Okay? Which is fine, except I'm 65. And I at least want a little bit of my money back. So now, the point is, we're trying to figure out how long I have to live to get what I paid back into it. So, generally speaking, by the way, if you're 65, plus 10 months now, if you're born in 1942, you're going to be 78, 79 if you take it when you're 65. You can check it out. 62, you're going to, about the same time. Banana. Okay, so, but you gotta live. You gotta make it 70, 78, which is why you want to be eating apples and bananas and there's occasional almond and stuff like that. In other words, you want to be in good health. Because, if you're one of those people who really hate the government, and government does some good stuff for you, by the way. I mean, they, kind of keep people from driving up and down the streets and being marauders. And if you've been in some really terrible places in this world, and I have been, okay, you appreciate having government kind of keeping peace and security, and not occasional terrible thing happens, like in Oklahoma City and New York. But listen, it's not happening every day. And you got to give the credit government for that, and that costs something, and it's worth it. But nonetheless, Social Security, you want to get your money back. You're going to have to live to 78. Except if you've had 40, 50, 60 employees, and you've been paying an extra 7.5% all along, okay? And in this case, okay, instead of the government, I don't know, a few $100,000 or whatever I have to get out of Social Security to live long enough to get that, I put in for myself. I put in for everybody else. So I figured it out. How long am I going to have to live? This is not going to be easy. To get all the money back that I gave to the government, 172. Put another way, I'm going to have to live another 107 years. And I'm not optimistic. We'll talk again.